Welcome you guys again. Happy Friday. I appreciate everybody taking time to join us here on Friday afternoon. We've gotten, or as we enter our sixth season, we still get a lot of questions around our membership. So I thought it'd be a good idea to jump on here myself and talk a little bit about just what our membership is. So I would imagine on here we've got travel ball coaches, we've got travel ball parents, organization directors, maybe even some event directors too. You are all welcome, and I'm glad you're here. My goal today is to talk through whether you're a member and you're already a member, how can you get the most out of that membership? Or if you're not yet a member and still have some questions around it, how can we help you? And give a little bit more context around what and who the Alliance is. So let's get this started. So the idea of maximizing your membership, the Alliance Fast Pitch, it really is a membership. It's a year-round membership. And you're going to hear me say that a lot, that we aren't just the AFCS. We aren't just the national championship. We're not even a tournament company. It really is an annual membership. And I think in travel ball, we haven't heard that word before. And so just giving people a better understanding around, what that means. And so how can we help you plan your travel ball season? And I'll talk more about this, but what we've really done is made tournaments, the tournaments you're already playing in, more meaningful for your team, more meaningful for your players. We've brought a lot of connectivity to the sport that didn't exist before. And what I'm going to explain is how that helps you and what that means for you and your families. And then talk to how you can lean into our national community. I saw, a lot of different organizations on there. I know our orgs do a great job of supporting you within the organization. We even take it a step further, if you will, or just provide an extra layer of support with our national community. And then we all love to save money. So I want to talk to you about our partners and how that can benefit you, your families, and how you guys can save more money as well. So who am I? I'm Jamie Lowe Price. I'm the CEO of the Alliance Fast Pitch. I thought it's important to share my background because I've been there. I've experienced it. I was an athlete. I played travel ball. I went on to play at Texas A&M. I played professionally. I coached in college for a little bit. I was at a mid-major up in New Jersey at Monmouth University. I've even coached travel ball. I actually coached a 12 and under team many years ago, but got back into it after being an athlete and college coach and was like, oh, okay, I need to figure this thing out again. And then I've spent the last 10 years of my life leading youth softball, first at USSSA as their national director of fast pitch, and then for the last 5 years have been leading the Alliance Fast Pitch. And this is what I get to do, is hang out with the athletes and impact the sport, which is so much fun for me. So who is the Alliance Fast Pitch? And I put this little equation on here because I thought it really exemplifies who we are. Competition on the field plus collaboration off the field to us equals a better player experience. It helps push the sport forward. On purpose, I picked this picture to just show a little bit of who we are. What we really did was brought our core values together of we want competition, right? We want to compete on the field. We want our kids to compete. We want to prepare our athletes for the next level, whether that next level is an age up in travel ball or that next level is college softball. So we want them to compete. We want them to feel, what that means on the field in life, but we have to work together off the field. And for a very long time, our sport did not. And when I show, here's just three examples, but Firecrackers, AI Bandits, and Batbusters. And I love this picture because it's the athletes from different organizations. They're smiling, they're together. And that's really who we've become. We meet every week as an alliance, as different organizations and event operators, and we're meeting weekly so that we can speak on behalf of the sport, on behalf of your region. And at the end of the day, our big core value is the athlete. And I'm surrounded by people inside the Alliance Fast Pitch that really care about the athlete. And that's what motivates me every day. And in our decisions, we ask, what's best for the athlete? And we stand by those core values. So that's great. That's our why. That's who we are. But how does that help you? And that matters to us. How can we, as the Alliance, help make your season more meaningful? And so I put this quote because it's our mission, but it's also essentially how we can help you. Unite the sport so your season has a clear pathway. Points, rankings, season stats, recognition, and support. And I'm going to walk through each of these, but really that's how we want to help you. And a lot of you're already doing some of this, really what we did is came in and brought it all together through a system that we call a season. So it's a terrible slide, but I just put this up here to kind of illustrate where softball was. And this is no knock. These are all great organizations. They all are experts in what they do. And honestly, we work with all of them. But before it's, hey, it's a weekend tournament. I'm going to go play. I might earn some points for one of these associations. Next weekend, I'm going to turn around and play in an unsanctioned event, go home. 3 weeks later, I'm going to go to another tournament. And there just was no connectivity, right? And so after we got together in 2020 and the Alliance, the vision was to really bring these together. How can all these event operators, all the different organizations at Travel Ball, how can we actually come together and create what is a season? So I use it. Every unscored game is a story that never gets told. And I'll talk a lot about how the scoring with Athletes Go Live really, really tells a story of your athlete. Every unplanned weekend is points left on the table. Every month without verified stats makes awards and leaderboards harder to reach. And every missed discount is money you'll never get back. And so what we want to do is make that season more meaningful. So all right, I'm going to dive into it. How to maximize your Alliance membership. And when I'm speaking about memberships, I'm talking about membership for your team, since your teams will join one of our Alliance leagues, membership for your athletes, which you're going to invite your athletes to join your roster on the Alliance, and then as well as your coaches. And so the Alliance Fast Pitch is really about individual memberships all season long, but we also have the team membership that is super important at the league level. Number one, the first way to really maximize your Alliance experience, your Alliance membership, is building your schedule. And I will say this many times, but we're not an event company. So a lot of times it's the tournaments that you're already playing in. But the important part for us is an AGL event ID. So anytime you go on to our website and you're looking at tournaments listed on our website, you're looking for that AGL event ID. That is really the trigger. That's how your games that are scored with Athletes Go Live are automatically going to sync back to team points, player stats. It's an automation that we have with them, but these are some of my key takeaways to remember when you're looking on our schedules. Look for that AGL event ID. It's a very important part. The other thing you're going to see, and I'm going to show you guys the actual schedule, event types. So inside the Alliance, we essentially have event types. So there's stats events, which any tournament on there could be a stats event. That just means that you're scoring and streaming, all of your players' stats are getting automatically recorded back into our platform. Then we have points events. And I'll talk more about this too at the league level, but points events do have standards. And a little bit of an unintended consequence in a positive way, of what we did is we've elevated tournaments. Kids are playing longer games, which is, I think, super important for their development. But every league has their own standard that, hey, a game has to be at least 90 minutes, finish the inning, because we have to get to a winner. We have to get to a score. So those points events are very similar to like college RPI. When you play opponents that are equal to, better than you, less than you, and then based on your result, that's going to move you up or down in points. And I'll dive deeper into points, but points events are very important when we talk about seedings, team rankings, and then obviously qualifiers. Qualifiers are pretty self-explanatory, but those are events that have AFCS berths attached to them or Super Cup berths attached to them. I am going to answer questions, you guys, too, at the end. So if you've got any questions, feel free to throw those in. And then obviously I will talk a little bit about our national events. So misconception number one, we always get, there's no Alliance events near me, or I want to play in Alliance events. There is no such thing as Alliance events. We don't host our own events. Honestly, even our national championship, we have to partner with event companies. We don't even have a scheduling and bracketing platform. So Alliance Fast Pitch does not host our own events. But what we have done is we've partnered with event companies to provide an alliance of tournaments, if you will, or our network of events. And I will give you guys an example here. So this is our tournament schedule right here. And when you come onto here, you're going to see what league, obviously the dates. And then if you look here, here's the AGL event ID that I was talking about. So that's a really important piece that you look for. Here is the event type. So qualifier, team points, stats, player stats only. But this is what I think is important too. Here's the event or tournament company. So you can see right here, Team 1, Top Gun, USSSA, Team PA. Right off the bat, right? We got about 10, 11, 12 different event companies. So none of those say Alliance Fast Pitch. We take existing events and we just add more value to those events based on the event type. And then you can actually go to their event link to register for that particular event. So another question that we will get all the time, I just showed you our national schedule. We will get, hey, there's no stats or points events. Really what people say are there's no Alliance events in my area, but we just clarified that there's no such thing as Alliance events. So what they're really saying is, hey, I don't have any stats events around me to where my players can get stats. I don't have any points events where they can get points. Or a very common one is I don't have any qualifiers in my area. And obviously qualifiers, those are a little bit more of a hot commodity. We only have a certain amount of berths that we give out to the AFCS. So we give those berths at the beginning to the leagues and we let them distribute. But the stats events and points events, we can continue to add those. So on our website, when you go to tournaments, there's a section right here called, if you want to add the event, click here. So this is for teams. For coaches, you can add your schedule here. Tournament operators, you can add your schedule here. So if you're I'm in Florida. So if you're in Florida and you go to the schedule and you don't see any events in Florida, fill this out. Or you can also send an email to Kevin at thealliancefastpitch.com. Let me add that into the chat. So you guys can all email Kevin Shelton. But that would be a way too. Let's get your tournaments on there. So if you come here to tournaments or you go to your league, let's say I'm in the Atlantic Coast League. I come down here, I start looking at tournaments. If one of mine isn't listed, or if I go to tournaments here, then hey, I'm gonna go up here, I'm gonna click and I'm gonna add my tournaments. And then we'll go through those. And if they meet the event standards, which they all will for stats, if they meet them for points, then we're going to add those. So every league does have their own standards. Again, this is to be a points event. Every league has their own standard, whether it's game time limits and are you finishing an inning as well. So you can find those on our website when you go to leagues and league event standards. This will also talk a lot more about what is a stats only event, what is a points event, and what is a qualifier. Just please note too, in qualifiers, you're going to get points and you're going to get stats. At points events, you're also going to get stats as well. So this will take you through each one of our leagues and it'll show you, okay, to be a points and stats event or to be a qualifying event, what are those requirements there? So again, event operators can add their own, but also coaches, you guys can go in and add your events. Please do it. So that first way to maximize your Alliance membership is to build your schedule, paying attention to AGL event ID, paying attention to the event types, and then I'll talk a little bit about our national championships. We are obviously known a lot for our Alliance Fast Pitch Championship Series, the AFCS. So this is our big end of the year national championship. You do have to qualify. It's 10U to 18U. It's awesome now because we're in one location in Indiana, and it kind of snakes through starting with the 10s and 12s to the 16s and 18s and to the 14 under. So you do have to earn a berth to the AFCS. AFON, our open national, we have two of them. We have one in Chattanooga. We have one in the Chino Hills, Southern California area. Those are played at the same exact date. And essentially, those are the teams that, hey, I want to compete. I want to try to qualify for the AFCS, and maybe I don't earn a berth this year. I'm going to go get really, really good competition and the same exact experience at Alliance Fast Pitch Open National. Both of those event operators do an incredible job of mimicking exactly what the AFCS does for the players. You know, we get some teams that, hey, they might not have the budget to fly. Maybe they're a first year 16 under team or a first year 14 under. They don't have the budgets yet. They'd rather play regionally. Or shoot, maybe you're an 18 under team that, you know, your kids are just looking to go to college in the Southeast. So you're going to go to AFON Chattanooga. So those are very, very good options with the Open Nationals. Regional championships we added a couple years ago, and they are, it's in the name, regional. So again, these are teams with goals that are more regional goals. same player experience. Again, our event hosts do a really good job. We had an event in the Southwest. We had an event, the Southern, that's in Texas, and then our Central Championship that has been in the St. Louis area. We are looking to add more of those, just great postseason events for your teams that would like to compete more regionally. And then I totally worked backwards on this, but the Super Cup Series, we now offer this for 10U, 12U, and then 14s, 16s, and 18s. For 14, 16, 18s, those qualifiers have all been announced, and there's only 8 berths. So 8 teams per age division at 14, 16s, and 18s. It's a one-day event that's absolutely incredible in Colorado. We partner with Triple Crown, and they host it during their big 4th of July event. We'll get, and I'm not even kidding, we'll get 250 plus colleges in a 4-field complex. You will get entire staffs from the SEC, the Big 12, the ACC that are sitting there all day at those fields because the competition is so good. We realized how cool of an event that was. So we added the 10U and 12U in Oklahoma City during the Women's College World Series. So that is an event. We will have qualifiers for that. Last year was the first year that we had it. So there will be a qualifying process for 12s. And for 10s, we're honestly just looking for the top 10U teams to go ahead and get in and to grow that event. But the kids get time to go to the World Series. We do media day. We do like a fan fest player experience. It's a really fun event around our sport's biggest event. Okay, so the number 2, they're not necessarily in order, but a second way that you can continue to maximize your Alliance membership is earning points. So this goes back to number 1, your team's got to score and stream with Athletes Go Live. We have a partnership, an exclusive partnership with Athletes Go Live. They have done a ton of work on their side to number 1, make all of this free. So all the player stats, all of that data is free. Honestly, you can score and stream your games for free with Athletes Go Live as well. But what we've done on the back end is created automations through that AGL event ID where we are getting your points. So we get all the game results after every weekend. It goes through our dashboards. We approve results, and boom, your team's points are updated every week. And it's live. And these won't go live until October 1st of this year. So if you go on our website, you won't see 2026. You will see 2025 of how the season ended, but it is live data. So every weekend, it's all about how you did on the field and who you beat. So the Super Division teams, which are our national teams that want to play in the AFCS, all teams start at 1,600, and you move up or down from there. Champions Divisions teams, you start at 1,400 points. So our Champions Division is our more regional teams. You're starting at 1,400 points and moving up and down. The caveat there is our carryover rule. And you can find all this on our website as well. But we started this last year where for teams that finish the season and they renew to start the new season, they get to carry over a percentage of their points from last year. And what that's done is really leveled the playing field earlier in the season where games just matter more. So it's if your team stays in the same age division, you carry over 75%. If you move age divisions, then it's you'll carry over 25% of your points, but it still helps really build that data not only for you, but for your opponents as well. So and we saw that last year. The more data we get, obviously, the better our rankings are. So we need more teams scoring and streaming with Athletes Go Live, but it's also it's really helped with that carryover as well. And then monitor your game results as well. And I'll show you guys how. But this is I wanted to point out this graphic. So for the first time, we actually seeded our 12 and under AFCS. So we have a seeding committee that will look at their rankings. They'll look at some head-to-head. They'll add a little bit of subjectivity just based on, those game results, what tournaments they played, but more so like matchups. But if you look at this, this was our seedings going into the AFCS for 12 and under last year. And this was, I bet 95% of these seedings were based on their team ranking and their team points that they had. So OC Batbusters Sith Bird went in as the number 1, OC Batbusters KPEC went in as the 2. They end up playing each other for the national championship, and that's actually how it finished. OC Batbusters Sith Bird was our national champion, and KPEC was our runner-up. So shout out to the 12U seating committee there. This is our new product for coaches. So when you become an Alliance member for coaches, you get our digital dugout. Let's see if I can. When you come in here into your dashboard, so it's free, it's included. It's basically a way to manage all of your Alliance data from your roster. You can do some really cool things with lineup cards, your schedule. But right here, I just wanted to show you this is how you can monitor your game results. So I would get in a habit if you're a coach after every weekend, give it till at least, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that it comes through our system or every other week, come in here and monitor. If you see any issues, let us know about it because there could very well be, a duplicate game. A lot of times there's user error on some items. So just keep an eye and monitor your game results inside your digital dugout, and you can see here. So I think I got Bombers 18U from last year, but you can see who they played, what the score was, and then how their rating was affected. So here's their rating, here's their opponent's rating, and then based on win or loss plus who they're playing, this is how it affects their points. So sorry Scott Smith to call you out here, but this loss right here to Mojo Ramsey actually dropped them 26 points. However, then you come up here and a win against Batbuster Stith moved them up 19.8, and that's based on who they were playing and what their rating was. So again, just another way to maximize your membership as coaches. Get inside your digital dugout, check out your roster, and then also keep an eye on those game results and just monitor them. So when you're earning points towards your team rankings, we have live leaderboards. Again, those will come out October 1st for the 26 season. But then throughout the year, we love to recognize our teams and our players. So here's an example of what we did last year. Our 10U team rating leaderboard. So again, the more teams that we can get to score and stream with Athletes Go Live, the more points that we'll have in here and the more teams that we can recognize. So here's an example from our 14U Champions division. So you can see Champions starts at 1,400. So all of these teams were above that line. And then here's our Super Division at 18s, which especially with the 18s, they not only start at 1,600, but they also carried over points. So that's why you can see a team like Batbuster Stith that was almost at 2,000 points. But throughout the year, we'll continue to not only have the live leaderboards for all of our age divisions, plus both champions and super, but we'll continue to put these out on social media as well. All right, number 3. So just continuing of how do I maximize my Alliance membership? So on the same theme of scoring and streaming with Athletes Go Live, we want to recognize your players. And the first thing too is building these season stats. So go back to my picture of, you're playing in 5 different tournaments that are all sanctioned by a different governing body or event operator. We're bringing all those together into one point system, into one season stat. And that's something that travel ball, we didn't have a season, right? And I know a lot of people think league and they think season, they think, oh, I have a midweek game and a weekend game. No, we're just using your tournaments, but we turn the concept and the structure into a league. And so, or sorry, into a season. And so your players are actually building every game that's scored and stream is building towards her season stats. And so we're going to recognize those players every month. We recognize league players of the month and then national. We also have pitcher of the month. And then we'll do it. We'll have fall leaderboards coming up and then our end of the year as well. So you're accumulating those season stats for your players. She's got an opportunity to earn these awards. She has to be a member. And I think that part is important. So your athletes have to be members of the Alliance, and your team has to be scoring and streaming with Athletes Go Live so that she can get her profile, she can get her season stats, and she's eligible for awards. And we've got some really cool things that are coming out with our profiles. I did not put a picture on it yet, but I can just tell you guys that we're going through some enhancements now where we want to elevate that athlete profile, which is included in her membership, but we want it to look more like her college profile. And imagine a world where your kid starts and she's 9 years old. She plays in the Alliance for 9 years. When she finishes, she's going to have a whole laundry list of everything she's done in travel ball. And it's always been one of my goals when I'm watching the Women's College World Series. High school is great, but we all know that travel ball is a huge part of her identity. And so I crave the world where we're talking about in the World Series, her travel ball and what she did. And now we have a history. They didn't really have one place to go to find that, and now they do inside the Alliance Fast Pitch, and she can build her history. So that's why it's not only important to become a member, but become a member early in the season. So she's building all of those award opportunities and all of those stat opportunities as well. And then see where that ranks. How, okay, great. My kid is doing this inside the state of Ohio, but how does that compare to other athletes inside the HFL? And how does that compare to other athletes her age inside the Alliance? And then, very similar to the team rankings, we are going to put out as much social media highlighting our kids. Our staff actually just did a end of the season recap, and I think we recognized over 1,300 athletes last season. So we're all competitive. We're only going to continue to go up on that aspect, and we want to recognize as many kids as we can. So obviously, a ton are athletes go live, are stats related, but we also have other opportunities too. I was a nerd in school, so scholar athlete is really big. We want to recognize those kids that are doing well in the classroom, that are doing well in the community. We partnered with Dick's Sporting Goods to highlight athletes that are doing good inside their communities, as well as in the classroom and inside their recruiting as well. And then we have skills challenges at almost every one of our national events. I put an example over here. This was after our 12U Super Cup final. We had high level throwing out with pocket radar, and we're getting overhand velos, which I thought was crazy. What, 5 kids at 12 and under hitting over 60 miles per hour, which is very good. But I think, again, too, just seeing where these kids rank, highlighting their achievements, both on the field and off the field, we're going to continue to do that. But it does require that your athlete is a member of the Alliance. Then all of those stats and all of those awards come into her profile. So I use an example. This is Madeline Doty, who's now a senior in 2026. Doty's been inside the Alliance, I think, all 5 years. And if you go to her profile, she's won AFCS All Tournament, Alliance Super Cup All Tournament. She's been a Super Cup champion. This is a TFL Player of the Month. I'm sure recently she's won more awards. And this is where you're collecting all of those achievements inside her Alliance profile. This is what they currently look like. In the next couple months, this will get enhanced even more, where we're building, like I said, her history and a little bit more aspects to her profile. And then this is shareable as well. So these are live as soon as your athlete becomes a member. Her profile is live on our website, and she can share that on social media as well. On deck, fall leaderboard. So this is something, I think we've done this for 2 years now, and we've recognized probably over 500, 600 athletes per year. So we take the stats from the beginning of the season to usually the cutoff is January 31st. And if your team has been scoring and streaming, what we're going to do is look at some of the key categories for every age division in both our super and champions, and we're going to recognize our top performers. So here's an example. And we know too, based on where you live, some people play more games than others by that time of year. And so a lot of the things like this is RBIs per plate appearance. So we try to create averages as well. So this not just total RBIs, taking into account games played. So this is RBIs per plate appearance and strikeouts per inning. And just a good example of an 18 and under as well as a 12 and under. And I do want to call this out. Taylor Shoemaker, who she played in the Alliance Fast Pitch for 4 years. And when we did fall leaderboards in the Alliance, she led in home runs, RBIs, hits, and runs. Goes then into her freshman year at University of Florida. And around the same time, she was leading the nation as a freshman in home runs, RBIs, runs, and total bases. So we thought that was a pretty cool stat to call out, that she was leading our fall leaderboards as an 18 under travel ball player. And then the next year, she's leading all of NCAA in those categories. This is why she went on to be the National Freshman of the Year. But just again, just cool way to bring travel ball and college together. And then last year we did add team stat leaderboards as well. So these will soon be live on the website too, where you can see, hey, what team is leading the country in stolen bases? So here's an example. Impact Gold Jackson last year, stolen bases per plate appearance. So essentially they were our fastest team in the nation, or our team that stole the most bases. And here's what national team strikeouts per innings pitched in our champions division. So just kind of fun to see too of, how my team collectively is doing against other teams our age across the country. Okay, so we talked about building your schedule. We talked about accumulating team points and why that matters, player statistics, player awards. This next part is really about leaning into our national community that's there. And you've got every opportunity to lean in as much or as little as you want. But when we brought the Alliance together, what we really did is we brought travel ball together across the country. And again, I know organizations do a great job. They have, coaches meetings, they have org workouts, they have their own org websites and portals, which is great. And what we've done is then taken all of those and collectively working together as a national travel ball organization. And so all parents, players, and coaches have access to our academy. So this has become really just a resource center. So we've got practice plans inside of here. We've got video drill libraries. We've got any of our recorded webinars are in here, and podcast episodes. So if you want to quickly find any of the podcasts that we've done, if you want to train extra with any of the expert partners that we work with, you can go here. I always thought this was fun. Just some dugout charts that other travel ball coaches are using. So spray charts, pitching charts, hitting charts. If you keep coming down here, we do have some practice plan templates. And then we do have some drill videos. So Austin Wasserman with High Level Throwing is our partner here. So you can go through a lot of these and just watch it right here on the site. And what's been happening recently is come in and say hello. So inside of our feed, as athletes are joining or as parents are joining, they're just telling us a little bit more about themselves. But you can find our partners, you can find everything here, and more this season. We are going to add more discussions and just more. It's kind of like a Facebook group, but for Alliance members, where you can come in, chat, ask questions, and just really lean in more to our community. Every month we host a coaches box, which is just a national coaching call for all of our Alliance coaches. We'll have different topics. We'll have different speakers. You can see here just some of the different speakers that we've had. And if you come to the website, you can even look at some clips too of what we've talked about. I think this is one of my favorite ones of just talking about situational defense. We've talked about pitch calling. We've talked about recruiting, right? We have one coming up here at the end of the month about fall recruiting. So as teams and organizations, we've got several different recruiting coordinators who are going to join and just share some best practices. We've gone inside the cage with Marty Tyson. We've gone inside the cage with Mike Stith, and just really, it's informal. It's a Zoom meeting, but it's just another way to connect as a community. And then one of my favorite things that we've done is our player advisory committee. So we started this 3 years ago, and we knew that if our mission was to put the athlete first and to talk about the athlete, then we should give her a seat at the table. And so we created the player advisory committee. It's led by juniors and seniors in high school. They do have to go through a pretty thorough application process. So we've got right now, I think we have 8 returning members that are class of 26. We have sent out coach nomination forms. I think those are still open till beginning of October, and then the athlete will have to actually formally apply. But this has been incredible. We've done some live events at our AFCS. We're going to expand that with our partnership with 643. Hopefully even, regionally at some of their facilities at 643. But just a great way to just empower our athletes, give them a voice, let them work together, and let them speak to our leadership on behalf of the athletes. So if anybody's familiar in college, there's a student athlete advisory committee that works with the athletic directors. And so this is our version at the Alliance level. So here's just an example. These were our athletes from last year who led, and it's cool. They're from all over. You've got athletes that are going to Oklahoma to we had athletes that were uncommitted. And it's really cool I think we had all 9 leagues that were represented as well. Okay. And then finally, save money with our partners. So the Alliance Fast Pitch has, I think we have 20 plus partners right now, and they're all geared to help our members. How that's really what's helped by bringing all of our resources together is that now we can lower the cost for you guys, for our families, for our coaches. And so we work with our partners to provide those discounts. We do different activations, we do some fun things, but most importantly, there are a lot of discounts for you guys. And I know our high school athlete membership is $60, but you could get that back in probably one partner activation that you do, and discount and savings that you can do. So the easiest way to do this is for me to learn how to work this. So inside our academy, if I can find it really quick, everybody has access to this. So if you want direct links and discount codes, only our members are on the academy. So you can come here and there's direct links. So if I want to come to high level throwing and I'm looking to get some high level throwing plyo balls, then I can go right here. And this will take me exactly to their site and exactly to their discount as well. So I know Pocket Radar is coming up, and we often have buy days with them. So if we're offering a buy day, then you'll be able to come into the academy, click here, you'll get 30% off their training bundles. Now, we don't have it in here now because it only goes live during certain those buy day windows. But when it does, we'll have the link in here, and it's a direct link to their site. Same thing with like a Visual Edge. If you're looking to take their free visual assessment, or if you want to sign up and get the discount, then you can go right here to their plan. So we wanted to make it easier for you guys. Same thing inside the coaches. This is the digital dugout for coaches. So same thing, if you wanted to access partners, you could go right here. Now, coaches, you do get a discount with Pocket Radar all season long. So you could just come here and it literally takes you right to the link, and we'll apply that discount there at checkout. So for parents, the easiest thing is to go to the academy, and then for coaches, come inside here to your digital dugout and you can access all of our partners. So if you haven't gone into your dugout, again, no, mine's a demo account, so I don't have all the data, but this is where you'll be able to access your roster, your game results, and your, let's see, your season stats as well. So everything will be inside of here. And this is too where you can create lineup cards that are custom generated, and then you can also do roster brochures. So we'll do a whole nother session on that. But the easiest thing right now is to go into your dugout, check out your roster and your game results, as well as our partners. So you can scroll through here, you can see what we get. So 50% off with Go Route, 50% off with Intangible, 25% off. So every partner that we have, we'll show the discount, and then again, the easy way to get to that. Going fast through this, see, these are some of the categories that we have with our partners. Obviously, Athletes Go Live with scoring and streaming. Evo Shield and the Wilson brands are exclusive with uniforms, apparel, equipment. Sports Recruits is our exclusive recruiting partner. Insurance. I know insurance is a big part of your travel ball season. Insurance is included. So we work with Players Health. Your team does have to have 9 players on your roster, and then you can get a certificate of insurance, but that's good for the season. That's good for your practices. It's good for all the tournaments that you play, and it's good for our national events. So that way you don't have to double dip and purchase additional insurances. All you got to do is 9 players minimum on your roster, and then we can get you that COI. Your compliance as a coach, which is your background check, your abuse prevention training, that is also included with your membership. So same thing, if you're playing in our national events, that's it. Our insurance, our coach compliance through the membership, and you're good for the year there. We've got tons of player development resources and partners. We have a training facility partner in 643. The pitch and play calling devices, we work with both Go Route and PitchCom. If you guys haven't looked at that, I highly recommend it. It's where our sport is going with the one-way electronic communication and play calling. I think we're getting away from more of the wristbands and going to that electronic play calling. And so we've got discounts for you guys with both PitchCom and Go Route. And then you're going to see our partners. We'll do some different member webinars. We have monthly themes, like in a week and a half, 2 weeks. We have Recruit Week coming up. We work with Sports Recruits and Athletes Go Live in preparation for that fall recruiting for our athletes that are 13 and up. And then all of October, we'll be talking about throwing and arm care. It's a really fun month that we do with high level throwing. So there'll be a lot of education around throwing and arm care. There will also be discounts as well. And then it's really fun at the end of the month. We do our National Throw Like a Girl Day, which is just a lot of fun to get athletes across the country showing what it looks like to throw like a girl. And then, especially as the holidays come up, whether it's Black Friday or Christmas deals, a lot of our partners will not only have their normal holiday deals, but we might even go above and beyond that with for our alliance members too to save even more money. And then, like Pocket Radar, we will have some buy days throughout the year. You'll see that. Make sure you follow our social media at the Alliance Fast Pitch. We're on Twitter or X. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and then a little bit of TikTok as well, and YouTube. So follow us there to get that information, and then make sure don't unsubscribe to our emails because that's a big way that we communicate with our members. Is we are going to send out emails to our members just informing you what's going on, and then we do have a monthly newsletter as well. Then when it gets time for national events, we always work with our partners on really fun activations around our players' experience. I like this picture. These are two of our home run derby champions, and you can see these custom bats that the players won. And the awards packages for these kids are incredible. We've given out custom bats, custom gloves, custom Evo protection, pocket radar devices. We've given out high level throwing balls, free annual subscriptions, all kinds of things. So when we get to that time of the year with our players' experiences, our partners have been awesome in helping us create a really fun experience and giving away a lot of free product. So just to kind of summarize, the ways to maximize your Alliance membership and really make your season more meaningful. And these are the ways, building your season schedule, going onto our tournament list to find your tournaments, find that AGL event ID, start earning points towards your team rankings, collect those season stats, get your players eligible for players awards. And it's two things. Make sure she's an Alliance member, score and stream your games with AGL. And then I'm telling you, watch, especially if there's not teams around you doing it, they're going to be looking like, hey, that's really cool. Parents are sharing our graphics on social media. It's really fun. And it means a lot to us. We want to be able to recognize more and more players. We just need them to become members. And for a lot of our awards, we need you to score and stream with AGL. Then connect with our community. There's so many ways to get involved. If you want to learn more, if you want to, probably have a lot of the same common, struggles going on in travel ball across the country. So leaning in, if you're a new parent to travel ball and you're just trying to figure it out, as we all are, reach out. That's why we have a community that's there for you. If you are an organization, hey, you've got 3 teams and you're trying to take your team or trying to take your organization from 3 teams to 10 teams to 30 teams, reach out. We've got a lot of people who've gone through that, right? We have a lot of brands inside the Alliance that have grown their organizations. We have a lot that have stayed small and intentional. If you're looking to get a uniform sponsor, if you're looking, how can we do more for our players and families, or what are you charging? We have that inside of our community. It's really a community of travel ball. And we're all crazy, right, about travel softball. So I encourage you guys, don't just sit back, be active. If you're a parent, get inside the academy, be a part of what we're doing. We want parents to be involved. We would love to, empower you as the parent to support your athlete. We'd love to help bring more education to you guys and give you tools. We understand too. I've been through it. I know how stressful the recruiting period can be, or trying to find her the right travel ball team. It's not easy. So we've got a community here that can really support you. And then save money. Take advantage of our national partners. Hopefully, just by going on our website on partner, you can see who we're involved with, and then get inside the academy, or coaches get inside the dugout. And we encourage you guys to take advantage of some of those savings. I know some of you guys, you do get discounts through your organizations, but some of you don't. So we just want to make sure we want to offer that opportunity for you guys to save money throughout the year. And just Before I answer questions, just answer a few that we always get, and hopefully through this we've changed the mindset of some of you guys. But some of the questions that we hear all the time is, isn't the alliance just for older teams? And we've been very intentional about adding opportunities, adding events, and doing more for our younger teams. The 10U and 12U, especially, a lot of the parents and coaches, you're new to this. So we have a community for you. We do have events now for you too. And we recognize the 10U and 12U players in the same way that we recognize the older players as well. So we have from 10 and under to 18 and under. Another one we'll get is, isn't this just for national championships? And every year we get so many coaches that wait until they're about to go play in one of our national events, and that's when they register. And unfortunately, they've missed out on 11 months of opportunity. They've missed out on 9 months of their players having the opportunity to be recognized, or for their teams to get stats, or partner discounts, that we did throughout the year. So don't wait. If you're a coach right now and you haven't invited your players, invite your players now, and keep checking. Go into your dugout, make sure that they have gone on and they've registered, because it's an annual membership and we have value and benefits for these athletes all year long. Another one we'll get is, we're not good enough to play in the alliance, which is absolutely not true. Yes, we have the best teams in the country, in my opinion, that compete for an AFCS national championship. The 40 best seniors in the country compete in our Alliance All-Star game, but we have opportunities for all players, and that's why last year we started the Champions Division as well as the Super Division. So Super Division is that national level team, the teams that they have the budgets to get on the planes to fly across the country. They want to compete every weekend against the best teams in the country. That's not everybody's goal. And so we added the Champions Division for those more regional teams that their budgets are more regional, their college interests are more regional, their schedule is more regional. That's the Champions Division. But it is no less than, those kids are still working their butts off. We still want to recognize them. We still want to recognize those teams. And so what we did is just leveled the playing field for them, put them in their own leaderboard, put them in their own categories for recognition, but they get the same benefits as everybody else. A fun one that we get is, well, I'm a game changer team. I don't want to score with Athletes Go Live. That's fine, but you're missing out on every opportunity that we have. And AGL has been an incredible partner. And like I said, it's free. Like, you can score and stream for free, so you can continue doing what you're doing and just grab another parent and add your AGL official scorekeeper, and that's how your team is going to get points, and that's how your player is going to get stats. So again, this is our 5th year, 6th year of doing this. AGL is actually coming out. I just met with Andrew about 2 hours ago. Their new 2.0 is coming out in hopefully the next couple months, which is going to be incredible and super easy to use. So get an AGL team account. We'll make sure as a follow-up that you know how to do that, and start scoring and streaming with AGL. And I'll just address this one too. People will look at the price tag and like, oh, it's $1,000 for my team to join. And essentially, yeah, if you added up all the players and the cost, the membership fees, it could equal that. But this is really an individual membership. And that's why shoot, what do you pay for hitting lessons these days, right? At 60, $70 an hour. This is $60 a year for a high school athlete. It's $40 for a year for a 12 and under, and it's $30 for the year for a 10 and under athlete. So really, it's either 30, 40, or $60 for the year for that athlete, which is really less than $5 per month if you look at it. But with all the value, all the things that we're trying to do for the athlete, you can get that back pretty quickly, even of saving with some of our partners too. So what do you get as an annual member? Just to kind of in summary here, you get the athlete and team profile, you get the team rankings, you can be part of our league leaderboards. You're going to get constant education and tools that you can take advantage of. It'll be there for you. You get insurance for your team if you've got 9 players. You get coach compliance. You get exclusive partner discounts, and you get a community as well. So again, you look at that $5 per month, and it really does add up to everything that we're providing for that athlete, for the coach, and for those families. So I like this quote. It's your season. You guys, it's your season, and the Alliance is here to make the same efforts that you're doing. Work harder for your players, and that's really what we did. Yes, we have national championships and postseason events, but working backwards from that, all season long, where our goal is to work together off the field to do more for that athlete. So if you're not a member, then I would encourage you to join or renew. If you remember last year, then you're just going to renew. If you're brand new to what we're doing, then you're going to join as a new team. But join now and maximize. Like I said, fall leaderboards are coming. That'll all start going in January. Our leaderboards and our team rankings are there. Everything is in the back end working. So all of your team points are being added right now. You just won't be able to see them until October 1st. And we do that so that we can build up some data. Very similar, college RPI won't come out till mid-season. It's the same thing with us too. So keep scoring and streaming with AGL. Get those athletes signed up. Get your insurance right now. We have a lot of teams that, they're taking advantage. The insurance is effective September 1st and it lasts you all year. So get your team signed up, get your athletes signed up and on your roster. Once you have 9, your team profile will go live. You can also request a certificate of insurance as well. By the way, I love this photo. This is the 10 and under aces who competed in our AFCS. This is their hat day in Elite Eight. And this is our 18 and under aces fast pitch team that went on to win the national championship at 18U. But I just think it's cool. It's the same Elite Eight hat. It's the same ticket. They played at the same location. So if you guys, especially younger teams, if you guys are looking for a national championship, it's just such a fun experience. And we do everything the same. So these 9 and 10-year-olds got the same experience that these 17 and 18-year-olds did as well. And then finally, if you are a member already, just kind of summarize what I just talked about, but just a reminder that we provide a season structure and pathway, and helping your team understand where they're at inside your region and where you're at nationally. So we're not a tournament. We are a season, and just thinking of it that way too, of, how can the Alliance help build your season and make your season more meaningful? The earlier that your team scores and streams with Athletes Go Live, the more season data that your team will have, the more award opportunities that they'll have. And then if your league doesn't have your tournaments listed, add them. So I put Kevin Shelton's email, reach out to Kevin, we'll get those added, or you can go on our website and add them yourself. So again, teams, you can add events. So if your tournaments, if you go to your league, you don't see your tournaments, let's get those on there as soon as we can. And then just my final message is, I think the sport is better when we work together off the field and we put the athlete first. And again, I did this as a solo webinar, but it's definitely not a one-person alliance. This is a lot of people that work together year-round, both at the league level and alliance at the national level. And we invite you guys to be a part of it. That's what's been really cool, is to see all these different organizations that they're trying to grow their own organizations. They're trying to get their kids recruited. They're trying to develop their players, but they also see the value in working together off the field and what that can do for the athletes, what that can do for the sport. And that's really who the Alliance Fast Pitch is. So let me see. I think we got a few questions in here. And if anybody has any additional questions that I didn't cover, go ahead and throw those in the chat and then I will answer. I did get a question. Will the AFCS continue to alternate? No. And we did not last year either. So all age divisions were in Indiana. They were all in the Grand Park and Championship Park area, and that will stay the same. So all age divisions will start about July 14th with the 10s and 12s, and then we'll go 16s and 18s, and then the 14s will all be in Indiana. And it is an awesome place, you guys. All turf fields. You should see, like, actually you can't see it, but where this is right here, it's like a whole stage and commons area. But being in one location really helped us provide a better experience for all the kids. Okay. Can you score points against non-alliance teams who happen to be in the same tournaments? Great question. Yes. So go ahead and score and stream every single game that you play. inside of AGL, knowing some of the teams you play against, they're not registered with the Alliance. However, you will still get points. So even if you play a quote unquote non-alliance team, still score because you will get those points. And then eventually, hopefully, that team does become an alliance team and they will get the points as well. But we have a system that'll kind of average out, a non-alliance team and what their ranking is. So you will still be rewarded. Okay. Thank you for asking questions here. Can you clarify if the team signs up for the membership, then do the athletes need to get a separate membership or is it all included in the team? Great question. So it is the first step as a head coach is you're going to go in and you're going to create the team, register the team and yourself as the head coach. So now the team has been created. In that process, you can do one of two things. You can either upload the email addresses of the parents and send it out to where they pay for their athlete and fill it out, or you can go ahead and pay for the athletes themselves. The parent will still get an email because the parent still needs to fill out the details as well as sign the waiver. But you can, as the coach, pay for the athlete membership. Or the easiest thing is to just send it to the parents, let the parent log on, they fill out the athlete and pay. So it is two different membership. So it's team membership, which can be for 10U, it's free. For 12U, it's $100. Champions, all champions are $100. And then 14, 16, 18s is 200. When two AGL teams play, would both need to stream the same content? Good question. And we will get, don't worry about necessarily what the other team is doing. Still score and stream your games. But sometimes, yes, we will get where both teams are scoring and streaming the same exact game. That's what comes into our dashboards, and we'll just remove the duplicate. So you're good. Still score and stream, even if the other team is doing it as well. I will say, very important. Do your best to make sure you get the correct Alliance team ID. So Alliance team ID, yours is very important. Your opponent's is very important because I hope somebody laughs at this, but like how many times, and all right, I'm looking at Unity and Josh Johnson, so I'm gonna pick on him. But how many times you play a team and they're like 18U Unity Johnson, but then in another system they're Unity Johnson 18U. So like the team name can change. So those IDs are very, very important. How does playing versus older teams outside of your age group factor into scoring as a team? Great question, Phil. You are not always rewarded statistically for playing up. It's not gonna change it one way or the other. It doesn't give you more points, I guess is what I should say. So, you would think you're I know you're a 12U team, you're playing against a 14U team and you beat them. It's not going to give you even more points because you played up. It's just going to look at your two team rankings. Yes, Robin, I can send out a copy of this presentation. And can you add your players' states points from a previous team they were on? Oh, can you add your players' stats and points from a previous team that they were on? Right now, no. I think the way that our system is built right now is your player is attached to your team. And so we understand there's a lot of movement sometimes, even like a player within an organization. So that is on the roadmap. But as of right now, no, you wouldn't be able to add if from another team. Eligible player benefits. Oh, this is a good question. If some players do not want to pay for the membership, would the player just not be eligible for player benefits? Correct. So let's say you got a roster of 12 players and three of them don't register. Number one, you need nine. You need at least nine. That's how you get your certificate of insurance. And nine will also make your team eligible for team rankings and your profile. Those individual players that do not register, they wouldn't have their profile, they wouldn't be eligible for awards. The caveat is if you play in one of our national events, all players do have to be registered. And so that's why a lot of teams have waited so long until the national event when it's like, okay, they have to. But if you can get them to sign up even earlier, then they get the full benefit of being an alliance member. So you are correct that that particular player wouldn't be eligible, but if you guys as a team go to a national event, then that player would need to register. Okay, briefly explain the Super Cup qualifying. We will be in Colorado. Great questions here. So the Super Cup qualifiers, those are out. Let me see if I can share our website really quick. So for 14, 16s, and 18s, if you come to national events here in the Super Cup, this actually has a list. So we actually just had two last weekend. We had one in Seattle that awarded a berth in each age, and then we had one in Virginia that awarded a berth. So we still have four that are coming up. We have one in College Station, California, Missouri, and Clearwater, Florida. So that's where you can earn a berth. And if you see like there's only two available here. This is where TFL and CFL work together here. There's two available in California. There's only one available in Missouri or St. Louis, and there's only one available in Clearwater. But that is how you could get into those events. And if you click on this, it should take you to that particular event if you guys do want to register. So that's how you would qualify for the Super Cup. And then qualifying for the AFCS without winning a qualifier, a lot of them will place, like if I'm going to a tournament, some of our qualifiers, it'll be the top four finishers or the top two finishers. So we actually, let's see if it is ready to go. You can now search, this is perfect timing, just released today. You can now search qualifiers and you can see what age division they're offering and then how many berths. So, like for instance, this Lightning Fall Classic in Amherst, it's a 12 and under qualifier, and there's two berths available for that one. We do have a couple leagues that are working on a points series. So I think the NFL is looking at adding this where if you are, if they've got five berths to give away and you didn't win one of your qualifiers, they're going to give it to the team with the highest points after that. So that's why points also do matter if you in some leagues where you can basically earn your berth through the accumulation of points there. Oh, you guys are getting me with the stat questions. So if there are duplicate streams and stats, both teams score the game. How do you pick which stats get recorded? Um, that's a great question that I don't actually know on the individual level. I do know on the team level, they if there's duplicates and they have a different score, then that league administrator will go into the tournament and actually look and say, because if I scored and I said that we won 5-4 and you scored and you said you won 5-4, we got to figure that one out. So we'll go into the tournament results and figure that one out. From a player stats, there's a lot of player stats that come through. You can go into your AGL account for your team account and you can update as well. So I think we are pulling, I do know this answer. We pull your individual stats from your team. The duplicates on games are the team related. So that would be team points. But individual stats are coming from your team and how you score it. So it doesn't matter how the other team scores. Hope I got that right, Todd. I hope that makes sense to you. All right. I appreciate you guys staying on and asking questions here. Any more before we jump off? All right. Well, let's see, 68 minutes in. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for asking questions. We wanted to make sure that we got those questions answered and that we help you really understand of how you can maximize your membership and make your season more meaningful. So reach out if you have any questions. Info at the Alliance Fast Pitch is always a quick response as well. So thank you guys and have a good weekend.